Hello. Hello everyone. I'm FTL Dave and I finally got my stream working. It took ages to set up. I had no idea what was going on. YouTube hates me, hates everything about me. But we sorted it. I'm still in the middle of trying to turn everything on because I turned everything off and back on and back off and back on and back off, back on, and finally it worked with a different browser, which I tried umpteen different ones. I downloaded what am I using now? Fox, Mozilla or whatever. So hopefully it stays on, hopefully we keep going, and it does all right. So the first thing we're going to be doing is looking into game week 29, doing a bit of a recap. Game week 29 was shit for everyone. It didn't go well. There was I think there was seven players altogether that got higher than 10 points, which is crazy, which is mental. In terms of my actual week, I did okay, as you could see. Let me scroll down a little bit for you guys. I did okay. That West Ham finally got a clean sheet. Wasn't even expecting it. That was really nice to get. Pereira is the new Digny. Everyone swapped out Digny for Pereira, and he's got another 0, which is just prime example of not being able to foresee just how shit a player will be. We're thinking Leicester has the best fixtures. They've got a new manager, so they should be well and truly lit up and ready to go. And what's he got? He's got a couple of 0s. I actually brought him in a game week before everyone else, just the way the transfer plan worked out. So I managed to get his little 4 right here. That was all me. He came off my bench to do that. And then since all you guys got him, he got 0, 2, and 0, which is fantastic. I love it. So so we're not going to be looking to him for much more points. Robertson and TAA did fantastic, and for everyone who still has Trent Alexander-Arnold, brought him in, well done. I actually took him out, so yet another masterclass from FPL Dave. That went really well. I'll show you guys what happened. I think I had him here, or the game week before. So game week 26 I had him. He came off the bench. But I had already decided that next week I was going to bring in Mane and someone else. So I went ahead and swapped Alexander-Arnold for Lejeune, which worked out well, 6 points. And then I brought Mane in, who got 3 points, instead of Hazard, who got 1 or something. So it worked out well that week, and then ever since then it just kind of like, oh, and also Mane scored those 2 goals, and I was like, yes, oh, I'm a genius. And then Trent Alexander got a hat trick of assists. So that, and then last game week, he got a clean sheet and full bonus points, and Mane didn't do anything. So yeah, so sometimes things can go wrong, but not too worried about it. Vardy scored, Sterling got more than Pogba, and that's all you can hope for. And then Jota got quite a few points as well, which is awesome. When Jota scored, it was great because it meant that he had more points than Jimenez, who I haven't had this whole season. I think I had him once, and then I wanted Rashford. So the fact that Jota kind of balanced out Jimenez worked really well for my game rank. Only went down by 700 points, which is amazing considering all the points that you could have got if you captained correctly. There wasn't many captain differentials in game week 28. It was mostly just either Sterling or Pogba, a few Liverpool players here and there, but mostly those 2 in the top 10k. So I'm really happy with not actually doing anything, moving up or down, just staying relatively where I am, and hopefully it's the chips that push me up. I'm hoping to hit around 1k by the end, and I have all my chips, and I'm hoping that a lot of people in front of me don't have any of my chips, or don't have any of their chips left. Certainly don't have my chips. You stealing my chips. So yeah, so what we're going to be doing is going through game week 29, just seeing if there's anything that we can learn from the week, and see if there's any trends or anything that we wouldn't have picked up normally. And then next we're going to look over the Bournemouth and West Ham assets, because those guys are the best fixtures, and everyone who is using a free hit in game week 32 want to bring them in now, but there's a lot of rotation risk and things like that, so we'll go through that. Wolves, do we get rid of our Wolves players? Ugh, it sucks because they were so good and then they're so bad, but they're also good, but then their defense is bad, and then when their defense is good they don't play Doherty. And then Bennett gets an assist, or whatever the hell he did. So, but then he's off for he's got like a suspension. So there's loads of things to talk about with the Wolves. And then I'll be doing a viewer rate my team, which is awesome. First things first though, you are all wondering why I don't have my glasses on. I have glasses in my logo, my nice new logo, which is right down there. But I don't have glasses on, and it's because it glares off the screens, and you can see the screens, and it's really annoying, which is annoying for me because, you know, glasses help me see, but they also look good because the logo, and it matches, because I've got a big one of these, but then the next defining thing from the logo is my glasses, and I don't have them. So I would also like to see, I can see comments. Would you do Doherty into Trent tonight before he rises? Maybe. Doherty is fantastic at what he does in attack, and although Wolves' defence have been woeful, woe is Wolves, they haven't actually been doing too poorly on the attack side, and Doherty's always in there. The issue is it depends on if you're using your chip for free hit 31 or free hit 32. It also depends on how much value you have tied up in Doherty. So for example, for me, if we click on what is this? Oh, it made me sign out. Thanks very much. That was awesome of you guys. Right, so if I click on my list view and I see Doherty is there, can you guys see that all right? You guys can see that I bought Doherty back when he was 4.4, right? So way back. I think I bought him in game week 4, just after his first assist, and then next time I brought him in he got a goal. He is now currently 5.5, so I've made 0.5 million of him. If I trade him out now, it's going to cost me 1.1 million more than what I got him in already. So there's no point in bringing him out if I want him back in. If I'm never going to touch him again, then of course, like, take your money and run. If you're the type of player who is okay with just getting rid of someone that has been doing really well for you, and then no regrets, get rid of him, it's fine, everything's good, then awesome, go for it. I'm going to want him back. I'm going to want him back because he has a pretty good fixture run between game week 34 and 37, right? Southampton, Brighton, Watford away is meh, and then Fulham. So I'm going to want Doherty back. And because I want Doherty back, I can't sell him. So he is going to take a permanent spot on my bench for each of the blanks. So that means I need him for game week 31 and game week 33. He's going to be sitting in my bench. I don't really have any more value tied up in Wolves players, so I can get rid of them. But we'll talk more about Wolves in a little bit. If you're doing free hit in 32, Trent is a great choice. I'd recently moved from Trent to Mane, thinking that it was going to be a goals galore, which I was kind of right, but Mane, even though Mane got 2 of them, Trent got 3 assists, and you just can't call that. So yeah, I think I would probably do Doherty to Trent if I didn't have any value tied up in him, or if I wasn't going to get him back. But if you are going to get him back, then probably just stick him on your bench and look elsewhere. And also, Trent's not expensive, so there should be a player that you have that you could probably get the money for. So recapping Game Week 29. Like I said, there wasn't many people who did well in Game Week 29. How do we know this? Simply because the average was 40, which is it's shit. It's really shit. I think there has only been one point where it's been worse. So if you had a bad game week, don't worry about it. Everyone had a bad game week. The best time to have a bad game week is when everyone else is in the same boat. Things that I noticed in game week 29 that you might have noticed as well is just looking at the fixtures from it, right? Huddersfield continues to be shit, but Brighton actually kept their clean sheet. So Ryan, I think, was picked by the scouts to be their keeper, and he got max bonus points, right? Or a bonus point and a save point. And he's been playing really, really well, and is recently went down, right? He came back after he was away for ages for I think it was the Asian Cup, right? So, and if you are free hitting in Game Week 31, look at those juicy fixtures, right? He's not going to be playing in Game Week 31, so you can get a different keeper in, right? But if you're looking for someone who isn't Fabianski, or you're looking for a bit differential, right? He's got Crystal Palace away, which is iffy because Crystal Palace have been doing really well. But then he got Southampton, and then after that Bournemouth home, which should be okay if Bournemouth stay as shit as they are right now. So yeah, differential, and he saves a ton of goal efforts, right? So he is like Fabianski in that case. He's the free hit 31 of Fabianski, is what I noticed. So let's move on. City played rubbish, but they're tired and something's happening with them. And away, we can't really take too much away from a 1-0 away to Bournemouth. We're all thinking that they were going to get stomped. They didn't get stomped. All right, Liam, how's it going? Glad you came. I hope you did all right with those transfers, because I know you were thinking about doing King. I don't know if you actually managed to do it, but we'll talk about King in a second. Man United are playing shit without Matic, and Man City are playing shit without Fernandinho. And this happened last time when City played without Fernandinho. They lost that, was it 2-1 against Newcastle or something, and they didn't play well, and then they tried to regroup and it didn't really work, and then Fernandinho came back and they started stomping people again, including that 6-0 win against Chelsea. So there was actually quite a lot of issues with Man City's team once they don't have Fernandinho sitting in that spot, because it means that they can't go forward as best they can. It means that they need to it takes two people to do his job. If he's not playing, for whatever reason, they don't have someone to just sit there. They need two people when Fernandinho's injured. So that means they have less attack, which means they're more worried about the defending part of it, which means they can't go and score 4 goals. And then if Sterling doesn't show up and Aguero doesn't show up, then who else are they going to use to score their goals, right? I mean, they've got a few people. They brought on Mahrez, he did well. Kevin De Bruyne got injured, which is an issue. Sané's not really been anywhere to be seen, which is annoying because he's such good value, right? There was a table that recently got released, which is the highest value or points per value, right? And Sané's right at the top. The only problem is that if you own a player for 10 game weeks, my screen's kind of like angled weird, but let's try. So if you own a player for 10 game weeks, you own Sané and you own Aguero over those course of 10. Now, obviously, they're not going to play the exact same amount of minutes, so that's number one. Number two, if they don't score the same, then their value per points is going to be different, right? But at the same time, points still matter to you in terms of 1, 2s, and 3s. So if you're getting 1 point for Sané and 2 points for Aguero one week, and then 3 points for Sané and nothing for Aguero the next week, it means that Sané's probably worth it in terms of value. But if he then doesn't play for 3 game weeks and you get 2s for Aguero, he blanks all the time, it doesn't matter how much value you've got saved up in Sané, he's not playing. So those tables don't really work as well. I wouldn't take much from them. It is nice to know that Sané's worth it if he plays. So as soon as he plays, we can bring him back in. But right now, Sterling rules the roost. And on top of that, I think that's going to continue. I guess because Liverpool is looking so good and City need to chase that. So they're just going to play Sterling in his best position, which unfortunately for Sané means he has to sit on the bench. Wolves gave us some decent points as a farewell, and when I say farewell, it's probably because of their fixture run. Right, so they blank. They've got Chelsea. They've got Man United in the double. They're blanking again, and only in game week 34, when most of us are using our wild cards, are they worth coming back, right? So we're going to have to deal with our Wolves players. But it was nice of them to score loads of points for us before they left. So that was good. Other things to note, Leicester. Leicester played rubbish under Brendan Rodgers, which as a Celtic fan is awesome. But as an FPL manager, it sucks, because having all these fast players works really well under Rodgers' tactics, but defensively he's always been iffy, and it especially showed against Watford. Leicester haven't been great at the back to begin with. He didn't really do much with that. So if you have Pereira, obviously stick. If you haven't got him yet and you're still hitting with Digny, then maybe think about someone else to get. Not 100% sure on that one, but all I do know is that 0 is really annoying. Even though I would only have had one had I put Lejeune on. Lejeune, I can't pronounce anything. I'm very sorry. So that's annoying. So Leicester defenders, I know people have been looking like, should we get Chilwell instead? Should we be getting Pereira anyway? He's the most expensive. What should we be doing? Attack versus defense, blah, blah. I would just leave it. Pereira was a bad choice, and there's no point in jumping on it. Yes, they have decent fixtures, probably one of the best fixtures. Fulham, and then Burnley, and then Bournemouth, Huddersfield. It's really, really, really juicy fixtures. Just go for their attack. Maddison crosses a lot. Crosses more than Catholics. He's fucking amazing. And he's more nailed now, I think, under Rodgers. Vardy's going to seriously excel under the new tactics, I think. And then you've got Barnes. Rodgers loves young players. It's a good shout to get him. There's loads of awesome assets in attack for Leicester. I've written about it a few times in the Monday after posts. So yeah, I would just ignore their defense, and it was clear in game week 29 that they haven't shaped up. They haven't done anything. So yeah, I don't think I've seen anything else musings in the fixtures from last week. I'm going to be going over Wolves, Bournemouth. Yeah, no, I don't think so. We're all good. Oh, last thing. Alonso. I don't know if what's happening with him. He's not in the squad. Sarri said that he could be the best and then drops him, but there's something happening with Chelsea. That's why I decided not to go with any Chelsea assets against Fulham. Hazard got an assist. Higuain got a goal. They look great. It was a great fixture on paper. Everything's great, but that club is... something's happened. Something's wrong. I'm really annoyed that Willie didn't get another chance at the keeper and Kepa came back, because not only do I really like Willie just from Football Manager and years of watching him, but at the same time, like, I hate Kepa. I hate the fact that he would just, oh no, I'm fine. Your manager tells you you're not fine. Get off the pitch. And I wanted Chelsea to win. I don't really like Man City winning everything. Chelsea coming back after losing 6-0 to then beating them in the final would have been a great story. As soon as Kepa did that, fuck off. I don't like you. I wanted you to lose. And it was all the more sweeter when Aguero missed his penalty or misjudged his penalty. But he got it anyway because Kepa made a mistake. That was amazing. So I really wanted Willie to stay in goals. If we have a look at Chelsea's... If we have a look at their actual... Kepa's 5.4, right? Everyone in their defence is 5.4 or more. He's the cheapest, Kepa. But Willie is 4.7. That is crazy good value. Did he actually go up? No, he didn't go up. He's been going down. He used to be 5 million. Okay, so 4.7, same price as Fabianski, but for a Chelsea defender. That would be amazing. So hopefully Kepa does something stupid again, so we can get Willy Caballero in, and we never have to worry about our goalkeepers ever again. Because look at their fixtures. There is 1, 2. Oh, you can't see that when I look at that. That's really annoying. There are Liverpool and Man United left. Everyone else clean sheetable. Yeah. Sad that Willie didn't stay. Anyway, moving on. Bournemouth and West Ham assets. Who should we be getting? I'm going to go over all the ones that I can think of. If you can think of any other ones, just put them in the comments. I'll have a wee look. But for now, I'm going to go over some of the ones that I've been writing about. So the Cherries have emerged from their just awful, dinky, dark cave of fixtures. They just are horrible. I got rid of Wilson and Fraser game week 18 or something. Didn't look back. Everyone was still haying and hawing. Wilson got that return like 3 game weeks later, and everyone was like, "Oh, they're still okay." They're not okay. Their fixtures were shit, and their form just tanked, and then their morale tanked, and then they didn't play well, and then they beat Chelsea 4-0, and then Brooks got injured, and now Brooks is back, and then Wilson potentially is back. So, and we've also got King, who's kind of in form a little bit. He had that, was it a hat-trick or 2 goals or something the other week, and Fantasy Football Scout were going mental over him. So plenty to look at with Bournemouth. I'm going to start with Brooks, simply because there's no stats on Brooks. And what I mean by no stats is there's no point in looking at him when he was here 4 game weeks ago, because, or 5 game weeks ago, because it was against Chelsea and everyone looked like a rock star. I did look into it. I can show you guys if you want to look at the stats of how good Brooks was doing. Actually, you know what? Let's do that. Let's look at the stats, because it might be worth it for people who are a bit, I don't see what the fuss is. First of all, if you haven't watched him play, then you won't really understand what everyone was going on about, because he just looks fantastic for such a young player. He looks really good, and from an FPL point of view, I don't think that you can look for it. It was almost like Hazard at the start of the season. He was coming on for 45 minutes, but every time he came on, he was electric. He was getting the guys going. He was making runs, making good passes, in the attack all the time, and that was Brooks, right? He was like a cheap, younger version of Hazard, playing in really poor fixtures and still getting good results. So let's have a look. I think it was game week 24. Let's just check. Where are you, Brooks? Right. So yeah, he died in game week 24. So let's go to game week 24. I'll link this in the chat, actually. No, bam. Now you guys can see it. So I'll link this in the chat if you guys don't know what this is. It's basically a table that shows you everything that you might want when you're looking for stats. It's not really good for comparing. You kind of need to click about a bit, but it's free, so that's what we're doing. Anyway, so Bournemouth, and all's fine. We're going to take it down to, I think he played 64 minutes or something before he went off. So let's do that. So right there you can see King shot once inside the box, or 4 times inside the box, once outside the box. And Brooks had the exact same amount of shots, but he had all of his shots on target. King shot 1 time more than him, but had half the amount of shots on target. So Brooks actually outdid their striker at striking for 60 minutes. That's incredible. Brooks was playing out his mind, and that's why they hacked him, and that's why he had to go off. So Brooks, extremely good. We don't really have much stats on him from last game, simply because for the first time in the history of this season, at least this season, feels like a lifetime, but this season,
No one shot in the Bournemouth side against Man City. They finished with 0.0. So that's so we can't actually look at the stats for Brooks on that one. If we increase this a little bit, Brooks is going to disappear, right? But we want to look at Fraser next. So Brooks is really good, and for 5 million, he can sit on your bench and come in, or you can play him. Of course, we're going to be wanting to play him in game week 31. I think he's really good, so I would recommend getting Brooks in if you don't have enough money for Fraser. Now, we all know how good Fraser can be. I'm going to show you my screen on this one. We absolutely have seen Fraser in action before. We all had Fraser. We all remember the assist after assist after assist after assist. Can he do it again? Has he been playing well? Because he hasn't been returning. So when I looked at the stats today, just to double check, because I'm writing up my Monday After article, the answer was yes, absolutely. He doesn't shoot a lot. He hasn't shot a lot, and that's fine. He didn't really have time to shoot. He's playing against Chelsea. He's playing against... Or not Chelsea. That was a bad example. They absolutely scattered Chelsea. Man City, they were playing against Liverpool. Really, really good defences. So there wasn't going to be much shooting. But the crossing. He shot... Let's change this to total shots between game week 24 and now. You ready for this? 39 fucking times. That's the most in the game. He's crossed 39 times. Not very accurate, but but super crossing, just constantly. Now, I don't know if that is because I don't think he takes corners. I haven't checked, because last time I checked he didn't. I don't know if they've changed it. I hope that's not been inflated. Let's just quickly check. Scout. Team set pieces, Bournemouth. Yeah. So he takes free kicks and he takes corners. So how many corners have they had? He's crossed it 39 times. That's even with corners, because corners can go in. Ake's there. It's still a lot. It's the most in the game. And I know this because I can click on all of them and have a look at crosses. Let's see. Fraser right there at the end. Nearly 40. Oh, okay, just flip up. 39. Oh, I just missed out. Oh, you know what I did? I took out... You have to... That's what it was. So I need to take out game week 28 because it's unfair because they didn't do anything. So let's take that out. Stanmore said, Bork or Adam Smith, worth a look for blanks, 2 home fixtures, so shot a clean sheet and might enable likes of Higuain, Hazard, Vardy coming in. I love Bork, holy goalie. What more can you ask for? 4 million, so it means that you can still have a 4.5 million keeper, and just trade out your second keeper, whoever he is, Stanislas or whatever. Not Stanislas, who have I got? The Everton keeper. Stekelenburg. Yeah, so like I could trade him out for Bork, leave him on the bench until the blanks, swap out whoever I have now. It's perfect because it means that, of course, you can use the money. You can take out, say, Patricio, and you can add Borg in instead, and then play him, or you can leave Patricio. You can leave Patricio in and trade out your second. Trade out your second keeper. And then you can swap and you haven't lost any value. So if you need the money, if you need to try to find 5 or 0.5 million, then absolutely go for it. But if you're okay for money, I would definitely do the secondary option if you've got a transfer free. If you were looking to trade your keeper out anyway, because it means that if you've got someone like Ederson or Allison or whoever, not Allison, Ederson or maybe Kepa, any of the big players, Laurie, if you manage to get him in for that penalty save, then well done. But if you've got a big keeper in, you don't want to take them out, you don't want to lose their value, then Boric is a 100% good choice. Yes, absolutely, love Boric, and he's been playing well. He's gotten saves. He's passes the eye test. Not like he's playing because someone's injured and eventually they'll come out. This is not the same thing as like the Heaton Hart situation, not at all. I think he is now nailed.
He looks great, and they play better at the back without him. They're still shit, but they're playing better. So yeah, Fraser is awesome. He has, from game week 24 to game week... check that. From game week 24 to game week 27, Fraser has the most crosses. Now, Millie got 5 crosses in the last game week, and I think Fraser only got 2. But I'm not counting the last game simply because it's not fair. They didn't get any shots off in City, and I don't really want to do that. But fine, we can say that he's the second best. But that's still crazy, right? Fraser's still sitting there. He's still doing really well. He's still making the runs. He looked good against it. He was the only player who was doing anything along with Brooks. So Fraser's, I think, still worth it in terms of spending your money. He is a bit more expensive though, right? He is 6.2, I think. Let's double check. 6.1. So, but look at this. Huddersfield defence. Newcastle is going to be difficult. That's the only thing. If you're looking for them for blanks, he's not got that great of a blanking fixture. However, he beats West Ham's blanking fixture because West Ham actually have a really, really good game week 31 and a really, really bad game week 33. So they actually play Chelsea. So if you're bringing someone in for the blanks, you have to take into consideration of both of the blanks. And unfortunately for West Ham, it's half and half. But they have Cardiff before that, so they are worth it. It's 2 out of 3. Whereas Fraser has 3 out of 3-ish. Newcastle would take over Chelsea any day. And it's at home, and Newcastle are a different beast when they're away. For whatever reason, they get all disorientated, which was great for this weekend. West Ham showed us how it was done. Load up in the midfield, throw down, loads of crosses, perfect for Fraser. Especially if they're not having to go to Rafa Benitez's dungeon at Tynecastle. So, Tynecastle? Wherever they go. Wait, what is the Newcastle home ground? Am I losing my mind? St. James Park, yeah. Awesome. That one. You don't want to go there. But it's home, so it should be okay for Fraser. So I actually, after looking at all these Bournemouth players, midfield, Brooks and Boric and Fraser. I looked at Stanislas for a bit, but he's injured, so there's no point. I actually prefer Fraser, just because of the amount of crosses he does. Brooks is going to score, but Fraser will probably get most of the assists for their green fixtures. Now let's look at King. King has been playing okay. 4 goals in the last 7 games. Not the best, but they were playing against Chelsea and Liverpool and Arsenal and Man City, and I'm going to say Wolves as well. So out of those games, the only easy ones for them were West Ham and Cardiff. Managed to score against West Ham, didn't manage it away at Cardiff. They actually can't do anything away. So that is the only problem with King going forward, is that he has more away games than he does home games, and they are just diabolical away. They're just poor. But I think that King's worth it if you're going to be trading out Rashford, or you're trading out Jimenez, or whoever you have that you want rid of for the blank. I think King is worth it. You don't need to be scared of Wilson. Even though Wilson's back, look at King's play time. Since game week 13, he has yet to not play. Look at all that. 90. He played 16 minutes against Tottenham. I think they were playing defensively, and it went really well for them. But yeah, he's consistently played over 80 minutes, whether Wilson's been on or not. So when Wilson's fit and King's fit, they play together. And when Wilson's injured, King plays alongside whoever. But he plays, and he will continue to play. So King and Wilson, it's not an issue. Don't worry about it. Go for King just now instead of Wilson. We don't know if Wilson will be eased back in. We don't know if he comes back the first game and gets re-injured like Kevin De Bruyne. He might now have glass ankles. Yes, Wilson was amazing, but King's more expensive. It's an easy trade out if Wilson comes in and starts bossing it. I would definitely get King first. I'm all about adverse risk. Risky business, not for me. Don't like it. So yeah, I would definitely play King. Alright, next up, West Ham. West Ham are tricky. West Ham have, in the midfield alone, right? Anderson, Snodgrass, Noble, Nasri, Lanzini, Antonio. That's 6. Off the top of my head, that play well. So it used to be that Felipe Anderson played the best and just was rocking it. Every single week for about 8 game weeks, he was playing amazing. And you can see it there. So from about here, 2 goals, 1 goal, blank, 1 goal, blank, 1 goal, and an assist. Then another assist, and then a blank, then 2 goals. That is when you wanted him. He was bossing it, he was playing well, Arnautovic was playing well, everything was going right for them. They had a really, really good run. Since then, he has shot once on target, and he has 1 goal. No, 0 goals, 1 assist. For whatever reason, he's in a funk. And they've been sharing the loot, sharing the returns. Snodgrass has the most crosses in the midfield. Noble takes penalties. Antonio's returned the most. Nasri's fighting for a place. Lanzini just played his first 90 minutes. It's really difficult to assess who will be winning those returns, getting those points in for West Ham. It's just too difficult. I had a look at, here's something I wanted to show you guys, right? This is West Ham's last game against Newcastle, 2-0 win. The person who shot the most, Chicharito. Came off in the 69th minute for Arnautovic, who didn't shoot at all when he came in, which doesn't bode well. At the same time, you're 2-0 up when you come on the pitch. I don't know if you're just sitting there, you're up by yourself and you're trying to hold the ball and stall for time. I didn't watch the game, but it's not very good when your highest performing striker gets taken off for another one and then doesn't shoot. So it means he wasn't getting fed after that. However, Lanzini played his first full game and he made 3 crosses, 2 shots, 1 on target. Snodgrass made the same amount of crosses, I'm sure. 3 crosses to Lanzini's 3. Felipe Anderson made the same amount of crosses, no key passes, and he actually played lost ball. I think that means LB. Does it mean LB? Pass long ball total. Offensive. Let's look at this. So dispossessed and poor playing. Lanzini there. Felipe dispossessed 5 times. He's not been playing great. None of them have been playing particularly amazing. But they seem to be doing okay, getting goals every now and again. But it's just cherry picking the exact player you want to get those goals. It's going to be too difficult. Anyone who brings anyone in is going to get disappointed. If you bring Lanzini in and he doesn't do anything, you have yourself to blame for bringing Lanzini in, which is what I want to do. I want to trade Jota for Lanzini, and I'm trying to justify it in my head. I really want to do that, because how amazing would it be if you bring in Lanzini and he scores 2 goals? It's just the headlines. I would be tweeting about that every day. Just, I seen it, no one else seen it. But looking at his stats, you're not seeing it. I'm seeing dispossession. I'm seeing poor creation from Lanzini. He crossed it 3 times but had no accurate crosses, so that means he's crossing to no one. Don't know if that's his fault. Don't know if people were just missing it, but they weren't connecting, and that's the point. Maybe that's because it was Chicharito he was aiming at. Arnautovic comes on, he doesn't get a chance to cross it in. Maybe if he had done, it goes in. We're talking a different story. We're all looking at Lanzini. That's why watching the games is the most important thing, is actually seeing who does well. And when I go and watch West Ham next game week, I'm going to be looking at Lanzini especially to see how well he's going to be doing in his second game of the season, 90-minute match, hopefully. So the key thing to take away from the West Ham review is that doesn't matter who you pick, you will probably get disappointed. So with that in mind, and we still want to cover them for their good fixtures, if you still want to do it, then we need to pick a player that's not going to break the bank, and you're not going to be too upset if they don't do anything, but it's still a differential. Most of them are. So Snodgrass, Lanzini, they are going to do okay, and if they score for you, they are going to help your rank. They are going to help your rank. You're going to shoot up. If you get Philippe Anderson and he doesn't do well, you're going to feel like shit. It's not going to help your rank, and you're going to be in the same boat as all the other people who picked a West Ham player. The player who I can't talk about is Antonio, because he was doing really well and then they dropped him, and I have no idea why the fuck anyone would do that. I don't know why. I don't know why he did it. Maybe it's because Lanzini's coming back, they need a space for him, who knows. If you have any idea why they dropped him, because I've been googling it, I've been looking for it, it was purely tactical. I don't know why you would do that to your best informed player, and he is their best informed player. Look at this shit. He has a goal, an assist, a goal, and then against Man City he didn't do much, which is forgivable because he got a goal against Liverpool to draw at home. Brilliant. And then they drop him against Newcastle home. Let me know why he was dropped. I have no idea. And that's too risky for me. If you don't mind a bit of risk, go for it. Go forth. Bring Antonio in. I hope he does well for you. I will not be getting him in because he is too risky now. If he can just be dropped like that. Maybe it was just because he played so much. Let me see his minutes. 1990 and a wee bit of a rest. 90. Wee bit of a rest. 99. So he plays 4 games and gets rest. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then gets a little bit of rest at the end. And 1, 2, rest. Yeah, I don't know. No pards. I have no idea. Might need to check out a West Ham fan. If you are a West Ham fan, please let me know. There's not many of them about. On my Twitter feed, at least. Might have to go snooping. Anyway. So, out of the Bournemouth and West Ham assets, Fraser, great. Probably going to do well. He's still crossing like a madman. He's on free kicks. He's on corners. Good. Brooks passes the eye test. Any eye test you can throw at him, he will pass it. Before he went off against Chelsea, he was doing better than their striker. So that's positive. And King, great choice. Other than King, you really don't have anyone. You're not gonna bring on Arnautovic because he's too injured prone. You're not gonna bring on Chicharito because he's not their striker number 1. Numero uno striker is not him. Rondon doesn't have as good of fixtures as Bournemouth and West Ham. And if you already have him, then awesome. But you've had him for his best fixtures. Other blankers, Firmino injured, etc, etc. So yeah, so King I think is the best choice. I would probably do that. From West Ham, Snodgrass still looks good, stats wise. He's still playing well. But it's just whoever gets that last touch on the ball. We don't know. There's too many variables on West Ham team. There's too many midfielders that are decent. They're all fighting for the same places. So I would probably leave it. Actually, I think Bournemouth are probably going to be playing a bit better. But yeah, if you've got West Ham players, I would leave it. You've already made your choice, right? So yeah. All right, moving on. Wolves sticker twist. What do you think? The answer is it depends on your value. It depends on the value that you have in your players. I'm not going to get rid of Doherty, and I will show you why. So I go in here, I can sell him for 4.9 million, which is awesome. But I got him in for 4.4 million. So that means I've made, let's look at the list view. It means I've made 0.5 million on him. We talked about this a little bit at the start, right? So there's no point in me getting rid of him because I'm going to want him back. And if I want him back, I'm not paying another 0.5 million for him because I saw him first. And that's how it works. So I'm going to want him back for game week 34 and onwards. So if you are getting rid of your Wolves players and you do want them back and you are using your wild card in game week 34, then great. You have nothing to lose except the value that you have in them. So that is where the decision is made. If you don't want them back, if you're not going to want Wolves back at all, then you don't have a decision. You don't want them back and you want to get rid of them, get rid of them. If you want them back, then you need to look at how much value you have up in them. I would say that anything over 0.3 is too much because that's 0.6 million. That's like an upgrade from Lejeune to Trent Alexander-Arnold or Vardy to Higuain. There's a lot. I think it's a wee bit more for Higuain, but you get my point. It's a lot more than just 0.1 or 0.2 million. Jota, on the other hand, Jota, however you say his name, just scored 11 points, a goal and an assist. Did really, really well. I'm going to be getting rid of him. He's out of my team. I don't know who I'm going to go for yet. Probably Fraser. But he's out. He's definitely out. And the reason why is because I go through it. I probably will want him back game week 34. He is blanking and I'm doing my free hit in game week 32. Chelsea's a really bad fixture. I don't care how bad they are. They're a top 6 team and I play the fixtures every single time. And then they have Man United in the double. Probably, even if I'm free hitting, I'm probably not going to bring him in. And then they blank again game week 33. So I want him out and I have, I think, 0.1 value in him. So I've got him at 5.9. He's now went up to 6.1. If I sell him at now, I get 0.1 million back. If I want him, it's only 0.1 million. 0.1 million is absolutely fine. If you have Jimenez and you've had him forever, I would bench him. If you have Doherty and you've had him forever, I would bench him. I would only bench a maximum of 4 players though. So for me, my bench is going to consist of Pogba for the game week 31. Pogba, Rashford, and Doherty. Kiko, I unfortunately can't get rid of in time without taking a hit, and he is not worth any more points. So I'm just going to leave him. And then the rest are fine for game week 31, right? I'm going to have 1, 2, let's do it this way. He's not fine. Remove him, remove him, remove him, remove him. We're off. Him, and him. So I told you Kiko, Doherty, Rashford, and Pogba are going to be staying on my bench. I know I can't have 4 people on the bench, but Kiko's just going to have to play, even though he's not playing. So I'm going to have maximum of 10 players. So that means that I'm left with Jota, and I'm left with Sterling. Sterling's going to become Hazard, and Jota's going to become Fraser or Brooks, or I don't know, if I go mental, I'll bring in Snodgrass or something. So if I had 10 or 1.0 million, 0.9 million, 0.8 million, the same amount of value, say I had Jimenez instead of Jota, I would probably get rid of Kiko. Because a maximum of 4 players, if I'm keeping him because of value, then that's fine. But there's no point in keeping him if you don't, because his fixtures aren't that great. So that's the questions you guys have to ask yourself. Oh. I just read all that. So MM says if Brighton beat Millwall in the FA Cup, then Son blanks. Yeah, that is correct. Twist apart from Jimenez. Yeah. Jimenez over Rashford. Don't like Jimenez will do anything against Chelsea.
yeah, so that's the best policy, I think. If you're going to take out a Wolves player, then make sure that you don't have a lot of value tied up, and make sure you don't want them back if you are doing that. Right, viewer, rate my team. Now, I might be able to get through a few more of these. So if you do want your team rated, I can rate your team. I'm a very analytical player, and I go for fixtures over form, so it's mostly stat based, and maybe a few differentials here and there, but by and large, fixtures, template, looking at planning. So if you want your team rated, then awesome, give me a shout. Let me have a look. Let's just refresh this. In order for you to see the team, I think maybe just link so like this, if I go up here and click on my points page, it then gives me a decent, and then you copy it in there. That's my team right now, right? You can click on that. So if I click on that now, it comes up. So send me your team like that, and I'll have a look. But we got one sent to us, so I'm going to go look at that right now. Oh, I'm going to definitely link this into the chat as well. Here is the blanks fixtures from Brent Crellin. I would get that saved somewhere. That is really, really useful. Alright. Notifications. Right, can we all see this team? So Ben on Twitter, if you're watching, alright man, how's it going? He sent me his son's team, and we're going to have a look at that just now. So I'm going to move this over here, and I'm going to make his team for him, because if I make it, then I can do something about it, right? So he's got, actually this might take too long. I'll maybe get it set up for next time. I'll do it next time. For this time, we'll just look at this one. Okay, so he's got, actually, let's look up, because I asked to see, I also need to know what your, I also need to see exactly what your chip strategy is. No point in me saying, oh yeah, you should take Jimenez out when you're going to be free hitting in game 31 anyway. Alright man, you're here. Awesome, 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 awesome. A few people are sending me their teams on Twitter. Awesome. If we've got time, we'll do it. I'm going to go have a look at... Also, I hope you guys like jazz and swing and blues, because that's what we're listening to. Amuse yourselves. I'm finding this chip strategy. Alright, so plans to free hit in Game Week 32, Wildcard 34, BB 35, and TC used already. Perfect. So he's doing the exact same thing as me. So I'm going to have a look. So if this is, if I don't get to see your team, it's still really useful to analyze other people's teams, because it basically makes your mind turn into this like key, what am I looking for, what do I want, and then you can then apply that to your own team. I actually found making my plans for my own team so much easier when I was doing some Rate My Team. So I would go into the Reddit Rate My Team thread, and I would rate people's teams. I would go through them, and my brain would go into like analytic mode, and I would start googling things. I don't want to tell people the wrong thing. I usually Google stuff before I tell you anything. So if you guys ask me a question, I'll probably go and look it up and make sure that I'm right in my thinking. So that just gets you into that right mode, and then you look at your own team and you'll probably do a little bit better. So it's definitely worth analyzing other teams. So even though this might not be your team, stick around. It is useful. Okay, so we're free hitting in 32, so that means Fabianski, Robertson, Alexander-Arnold, David Luiz, they're all fine. So defense is absolutely fine for that. Salah, Hayden, King, that means you've got Rashford 1, Aguero 2, Jota, Doherty,
Tompkins, Son. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players that aren't playing in game week 31, which is, you'd have 2 transfers left and 3 on the bench. That's 5. That means you're going to have a total of 9 players, which isn't bad. I'm assuming that Aguero is going to be moving to Higuain or Vardy, and if you have a lot of value held up in him, because he's went up to 11.8, then you might keep him, which is absolutely fine. If you've got a lot of value left in him, you can absolutely keep Aguero. You're not going to get spurned too much by Higuain against Everton, I believe, and you're not going to get spurned too much by Vardy. He might only get 1 or 2 goals as well, so Aguero is really expensive right now, and if you got him at 11 million, then that's fine. 0.5 in the bank. Cool. So I would trade out Aguero for Higuain unless we got a lot of stuff. Son needs to change. He's got Burnley or Southampton, sorry. Perfect. He needs to go after that though. Son's not been playing well. Tottenham haven't been playing well. They're blanking. They have really shit fixtures in the game week 32, so you're not going to want him for them anyway. He's playing Liverpool and Crystal Palace, I think. So yeah, it's not a good go. Crystal Palace away, by the way. I think Son needs to go. This is his last good fixture. If you can get Hazard from all this, then great. That's what I would do, because Hazard is going to be the one of 4 premiums, or one of 5 premium attackers in game week 31. You've got Higuain, Hazard, you've got Mane, you've got Salah, and you've got Vardy. I would say he's kind of premium, not that much, 8.8, 8.9. So yeah, 5 players you got to be worried about, and Hazard is one of them. So if you went Aguero and Son to Hazard and Higuain, I think you're fine. You might need to take a few more hits though, because that only leaves you with 7. You probably have a lot of value up in Doherty, Pogba, Rashford. You could do the same as me and leave them on the bench. That means you need to get rid of Jota and Tompkins as well. So you could take 1 hit going into this game week and do 2 transfers. I'm assuming you haven't kept the transfer. Son something like 8.6. Okay, so yeah, that makes sense then. Aguero quite late means that you don't have a lot of value tied up in him. I'll probably go down in value anyway for the game week 31 and then shoot right back up for game week 32. So there, I would do Son and Aguero for Higuain and Hazard if you can afford that, and then that's 1 week, game week 30. Then leading game week 32, you could take another hit and get Jota out and Tompkins, but I would make sure that you do the Aguero Son last. So find out how much you need for that. If you need 0.9 million, you can't make that transfer with less. You've got 1.9 million over. Then make sure you make 0.9 million with the Jota and Tompkins transfer. Jota goes to Brooks. That's you saving $1 million right there. So that's absolutely fine. If you want Fraser because you realise that he crosses so much that you're gonna die, then yeah, get Fraser. That means you're gonna have to find some way to save the money with Tompkins. But everyone else absolutely fine. You've doubled up in defence. That's probably worked out really well for your son. I'm kind of jealous because I got rid of him. David Luiz didn't play. It's probably just a rest. Don't worry too much about that. Maybe that was his punishment because he went over to Kepa and was like, alright mate, you sure you don't want it? Aside because you guys can see my hand. He's like, alright mate, you sure you don't want to go off? Sorry, he said go off. And Kepa's like, oh, I'm really fine. And then David Luiz is like, alright man, I tried. Fuck you, David Luiz. But FPL point of view, great pick. He's fine. He's a premium, one of the only premium defenders that are going to be in for game week 31. So I like that a lot. I like the double up. You have a really, really good defense. A lot of money in defense. Actually, you know what? Every single one of your players is a playing player, so I don't think you should worry about it. Hayden is a great pick because he's 4.5 million. He's a bench fodder, but he'll also play and is good for game week 31. So love that pick. Can I see anything else? King you've went for. We've just established today that King's great. Rashford, Pogba's on your bench. Robertson, Alexander's great. Fabianski's got good fixtures for game week 31, but not for 33. So Might need to use the game week 32 to 33 to change him to Boric or something. So we'll keep that in mind. Son and Aguero, switch them out. You could even get Vardy if you don't have enough and you still want Fraser and Tompkins and you can't do anything about it. You can go for Vardy. Higgs and Vardy are going to be very similar. They both scored a goal. They both got bonus points. I think they're going to be similar. But yeah, that team's banging. I kind of wish I had that team a little bit. Because Sterling's done nothing for me, but Aguero's probably done a lot for you. David Luiz. Yeah, so who would I get rid of for... No worries, man. Thank you very much for sending the video. It was really nice of you. Just before I get off from this and I look at one more team, Tompkins, you can trade him out for any Newcastle defender. You could double up on West Ham if you're crazy enough. But I actually think that if you're just going to get someone who's in the blank and then you're not really going to worry about them too much going forward, they need to be doing well in both the blanks, right? Because you're going to be wanting to use them in both. So I'm going to actually scroll up to the tweet that I just sent you guys. Who's having great both game week 31 and game week 33? Liverpool, obviously. West Ham aren't. Leicester are. Burnley away, Huddersfield away. Bournemouth have Newcastle and Burnley. Newcastle, Burnley, then potentially blanking in game week 33. So we gotta watch that. So no West Ham, no Newcastle. So yeah, go for Bournemouth defender and just play them. Hope for the best against Newcastle at home. And then Burnley, they're playing at home as well. So 2 home fixtures for both of the blanks. I think I would go with Burnley, despite how rubbish they are, and just only play them during the blanks. Excuse me. So yeah, that is that team. Thanks very much for sending it. I think we got another one, so hold on, let me double check. You linked your my team page, so I didn't get the thing. Hold on. Let me see. Very calming music. You need calming music when you're playing FPL, because even though we're just chilling out, we're analysing, like, in the back of our minds we're thinking, Vardy, if you don't get a fucking goal, I'm gonna go mental. So we gotta have nice chilled out music. Let's look at another team. Someone sent me a team earlier, actually. When I tweeted it, they asked me, so let's look at their team. So he's saying that, actually, you know what, I don't know if he wants to be seen. I know you guys have just seen it there. I might have to edit that out. Here's his team. And let's look at his strategy. Because again, key. So he's 2 free transfers. Game week 31 transfer will be Son and Rashford to Felipe or anyone decent, and Higuain. We've just went over how difficult it is to see which West Ham players are going to be good, so we might need to watch that Felipe. He already has Brooks, so we don't need Fraser, so it probably will be a West Ham player. We'll see. He then said I need to transfer out Wan-Bissaka or Doherty this game week if I were to have a starting 11 for game week 31, which he can't decide. And is Doherty worth keeping or wise to drop him now? So we've already established that he's probably best to keep. 5.2 million he's going for though. So if he's 5.4 million and he's going for 5.2, that means he bought him at 5 million. So he only has 0.4 million. He got him quite late. So let me see who's going to go on his bench. Pogba, Rashford, Jimenez probably, right? So he'll have... We need to take out Son, and Rashford. Actually, Rashford's quite late as well. Who else has he got for his bench? Fabianski, 2, 3, that's 3, 4. 1 Hazard, Brooks, Son's going, and then yeah, I think he's fine. I think if you put Rashford and Pogba on your bench and Jimenez, that means we've got to get rid of Son, Doherty, and Wan-Bissaka. The reason why I would pick to get rid of Doherty over Rashford is simply because Rashford is great and Doherty has not been playing that well. If the value is the same, Doherty you might want back, but Rashford you're definitely going to want to keep, especially for the double. So getting rid of him for 1 game week is not worth it, right? You're going to get rid of him now, and then he's going to be blanking, then you're going to want him back. You could just play him next week, he might get a cheeky goal, and then he's right back in your team after staying on your bench for 1. So I would keep Rashford. Doherty you're not going to use next game week. If you're using him instead of using Van Dijk, Arnold, Wan-Bissaka or Pereira, then you're not playing properly. Doherty is definitely the best choice there for your bench. Everyone else is good. I like Brooks, I like Hazard, I like Salah, I like your double up. In defence, I like Fabianski. I like that you're trying to get rid of Son. I like that you've kept Son until his good fixture. Rashford you've kept through his injury, which is also good. You've got Rondon there instead of King from the other team. Everything looks good. I think you're golden. Yeah, man. Stealth Panda, just send me again. We'll do. I'll look at it quickly after this. So for this team that we're looking at just now, if Son's leaving, it means that you could probably upgrade. Let me see. Actually, you know what? That amount for Pogba is quite. How much is my Pogba? Nope. 8.4 as well. Oh, okay, so we got him at 7.9. Right, never mind. Yeah, we want to keep Pogba. Rashford 7.5, same as me. Doherty's a bit more. And how much is Jimenez? Let's check how much Jimenez is right now. Jimenez plays for Wolves. Jimenez is 6.9. He has him for 6.2. Holy shit, he has a lot of value tied up. That means he went up by 1.4 since this guy got Jimenez. That's crazy. Okay, so we want to keep Jimenez, definitely. We want to keep Rashford, which is a shame because going from Son to someone like even Felipe Anderson's like 1.6 million saved. So where can we use that money? It's not a problem keeping money because we're just about to use our chips anyway, right? So we're using chips in game week 32 and we're using our chips in game week 34. So having that money will get spent. Don't worry about it. It'd be awesome if he didn't have any value tied up in Rashford and we could go Son to Snodgrass, saving us 3.7 million and then upgrading Rashford to Higuain or something, right? That would be the dream. But Rashford, for 1 game week, it's not worth it. It's not worth it getting rid of that and then wanting them back again. Especially when we're so close to using our chips and we've got our plans and everything. So let's just keep the boat steady. Son should go for all the players that I mentioned earlier. You've got Brooks, so we don't need to look at Bournemouth anymore. If it's a choice between getting rid of Wan-Bissaka and getting rid of Doherty, I would probably get rid of Doherty, just because he has 3 bad fixtures, or 2 blanks, and a bad middle. Crystal Palace have a good double game week, and he'll be worth it on the bench, especially if you got him for 4 million. So I would just leave him. Doherty cash out 5.2, but yeah, just leave him. Just leave Wan-Bissaka and keep Doherty. No, sorry, keep Wan-Bissaka. Get rid of Doherty. Doherty can change to a lot of players, which is good as well, right? So if we went from Son to Snodgrass or something, it means we could upgrade Doherty potentially to Robertson if you wanted, if you didn't want Van Dijk anymore. We could get David Luiz as well, which is probably a really, really good shout. So going for a Chelsea defender. Yeah, you could do that. You could go Son to Lanzini or Antonio or Snodgrass, any of the West Ham players. You could go Almiron. What's the guy's name? Almiron? I can't pronounce anyone. I can't pronounce my own name. But you guys know who I'm talking about, right? Thanks for sending me that. I'll have a look at it in 2 seconds. So yeah, there's quite a few players that you could get, but every single one of them is going to be a downgrade from Son. There's no way we can get... Nah, because you want Rondon, you want Jimenez, you want Rashford. It's just a shame that we can't get Higuain there. We can't get Mane because you have 3 Liverpool players. So the next best thing is to get a premium defender then. Son goes to... a West Ham player, of whoever you want, really, whoever you think is going to get the most. It's really difficult to see, like I keep saying over and over again. West Ham don't have the greatest assets in midfield. They all kind of share the reward equally. They don't have like that one Hazard or that, you know, that one Sterling. They have 4 or 5 guys that have been doing well or doing not so well, as the case may be. So if I were you, unfortunately I would have to get rid of Doherty. I'd probably get David Luiz or Rudiger, whoever's cheapest. If it's the exact same, if David Luiz and Rudiger are the exact same, I'm going to check right now. If they are the exact same, I'd go with Rudiger. He's just more nailed. Statistics, Chelsea. Oh, that's another thing. Do you notice on the app, you can pick like defender, attacker, whatever. There's like 3 things. Whereas in the statistics page on the web base, there's only 2. Does that annoy anyone else? Just me? Alonso we can't touch. David Luiz 5.9. Rudiger 5.9. I'd get Rudiger. Actually, you know what? Scrap that. I forgot about David Luiz's amazing ball throughs and corners. It's just because I don't like David Luiz. But I'm being unbiased. David Luiz is the better choice because he has 2 goals, 2 assists, and they're all within the last 10 games or so. Meaning that his game has changed to meet the demands of the new way they're playing. So yeah, David Luiz, which means that you can afford pretty much anyone in West Ham. So go for it, buddy. Whoever you want. The rest of the team's great, especially for a free hit 32. Pogba, Rashford, Jimenez on the bench. I would leave Wan-Bissaka and just get rid of Doherty, and that means Son means you've got full playing. You're not taking any hits. You have 10 out of 11 starting players. It's more than a lot of people are going to have. The only people who are going to be better than you are people who are taking hits or people who are free hitting. And either way, you're doing well. So yeah, that's exactly what I would do. And then I'll be doing a whole free hit video and everything later on, so we don't need to get into that now. Right, last one before I close the stream. Here's your team just now. Free hit 32, wildcard 34, same. Doherty to Trent Alexander-Arnold, Ederson out in 31. Then we'll have 10 players or 11 if you take a hit. Okay. So we've got 1, 2, 3 of a possible 4 premium players. Ederson, I don't even think you need to take him out. So like what I was saying before, Stealth Panda, thank you very much for sending your team, by the way. I appreciate that. You could trade out Hammer. Fuck, I don't know how to pronounce people. You could take him out for Boric and just leave Boric and Ederson and just swap them. You don't have to take Ederson out if you've got a lot of value. And also, Man City have been doing a lot better recently in defence. I think they've got 2 clean sheets now, 2 1-0 wins, as well as that 6-0 against Chelsea. They've gotten better at their defence. Now, Fernandinho's injured, so it's not the best. However, Watford home shouldn't cause any trouble. And then they're blanking, and that should give enough time for Fernandinho to get back. So you could potentially swap out Hammer for Boric. then just bench Ederson, play Boric. You've not lost any value, and you've got your playing player, and that means you don't need to get rid of Ederson, right? And I think that Hammer and Boric are the exact same price. Yep. So go have a look at that. Because Boric is just our savior, right? Any really good, not really good, just any playing goalkeeper that is less than 4.5 is a steal, except for Jordan Steele, or whatever his name is. That guy wasn't great. Who else have we got? So you're free hitting in 32, so you got Robertson. You could get Boric, that's 2. Hazard, Felipe Anderson, Jimenez, Random, Vardy. So you actually have a lot of players that are blanking. Who are Everton playing in game week 32? They're playing Chelsea, I'm sure. Or game week 31, yeah. They're playing Chelsea. Okay, let's go back. What do you guys think of the team? I think there's a little bit of work to go in terms of the free hit. You've got... Did you say you've got... you could put Richie and Digne on the... put them in playing against Chelsea, because at least they're playing, right? Why does my screen keep doing that? It keeps going white and black and white and black and white and black and white and black. Stop doing that, stupid screen. So you've got playing players. Let's say Hammer is now Boric, right? Because I think that's a good idea. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 players is enough. You'd be benching Jimenez, you'd be benching Pogba, you'd be benching Doherty. You could probably swap out Wan-Bissaka or Doherty depending on how much value you have left over. You might even want to take Richarlison out for Fraser for a hit, because I think he's got better value in the next 2 games than Richarlison. Newcastle away, then Chelsea home. Not the best. Depending on, did you tell me if you had any transfers? No, I don't think you do. So 9 players is good enough. Taking a hit to bring in a Richarlison substitute against Chelsea, I think might be worth it, especially if you're going to be keeping them for a while. You're doing Doherty into Trent Alexander-Arnold, so I won't be benching Doherty, only 0.2, which I'm fine with, and you have 1 free transfer. Great. Then it's settled then. You'd have Jimenez on your bench, you'd have Pogba on your bench. You would then be trading out Doherty for Trent Alexander-Arnold, which gives you your double up that you need back there. You'd be playing Digne against Chelsea, so you'd have Boric, then Robertson, TAA, Digne, or Digne, however we say it. Salah, Hazard, Richarlison, Felipe Anderson. Richarlison can go for whoever. You don't need to keep him, because I think his fixtures are crap. He's not got good double game week, or you're not playing in the double game week, so you're going to get rid of him there anyway with your free hit. But when he comes back, he's not good, and it's back and forth, good and bad fixtures, which is not consistent. It's not what we want. It's not what we want when we're looking at our players. So I would get rid of Richarlison for a hit, maybe this week, if we can think of a better player. He's not even starting. Yeah, I don't like him at all. Don't like him. You've got Felipe Anderson, so that covers you for the whole West Ham conundrum. And yeah, and Rondon, Vardy up top, Jimenez on the bench, Wan-Bissaka on the bench, Pogba on the bench. You're going to have to play Digne, and that's not a big deal. Bednarak, you're going to have to play him. Southampton's blanking, aren't they? So he's an issue. So you're going to have 10 players playing, I think, right? Which is pretty good. I'd be fine with that. I think I'm down. You're not take a hit for Richie, otherwise I won't be able to play a team, be a defender for Bednarak. That's fine. If you want to, if you don't want to take a hit for players that are already playing, then that's absolutely fine. I just don't like Richarlison. He is an easy swap to Fraser. You're right. But apart from that, your team's banging, man. You've got Vardy, you've got Rondon, perfect. You've got Hazard and Salah, which are the two biggest premiums for Game Week 31. You've got Felipe Anderson, which will cover you for all the people that are bringing him in. You'll have Robertson TAA, which is probably the best defence you can have right now. Ederson, you're going to be on your bench for Boric. That's absolutely fine. You're going to have 9 players without taking any hits. You've kept Digne and Richarlison through their rubbish fixtures, and I mean, you might be rewarded against Chelsea. I think Chelsea are going to have a bit of a resurgence coming up now anyway, but by and large your team's good, man. You're doing well. I don't see any issues with it except for Richarlison, but you don't need to take a hit for him. You could get rid of him by game week 33 anyway, and you're probably going to be wildcarding game week 34, am I right? So you're golden, man. Don't you worry about it. Yeah, you're fine, man. You're fine. I'm gonna get better at keeping people anonymous. I keep showing people the Twitter thing. I need to bring it in. But let's go back to the team. Okay, so that is the stream viewer rate my team. And I'm just going to recap with how my team's going to be looking, and then and that's us. So for next week, I'm getting rid of Jota, and for game week 31, I'm getting rid of Sterling. Sterling's turning into Hazard, easy, quick, clean, already planned. Jota's probably going to be turned into Fraser, and I've got enough for that. I believe. I'd be funny if I didn't. I'd be raging, but I think I went Vardy for that reason. So let's see. He turns into Hazard, oh so sweetly, and then Fraser, is he on the thing? He is, because he's still there. And I've got 0.8 in the bank. So this is probably what my team is going to look like. So conclusion is Fraser's better pick than Brooks. Nice one. You're very welcome. I think Fraser's better, but don't hate me if Brooks scores, because he does shoot a lot. He's just back from injury though. Fraser's doing much better in the crossing department. He's on loads of free kicks and direct free kicks and corners. I think I might go with Fraser. If I change my mind, I'll let you know though. So follow me on Twitter. I am keeping Rashford. So players I'll have on my bench for game week 31 are Doherty, Pogba, Rashford, and Kiko. I can't get rid of him without a hit, and I'm not spending any more money on that dickhead. He might be the nicest guy in real life, but I took him out for Wan-Bissaka thinking he was going to be the next Holobas, and he just screwed me. Look at this. So plenty of mistakes that I've made that I will try and be better at for next season, but for now, Kiko, I have to keep him. He's just a sore that I have to look at. He's really annoying. So yeah, Kiko's staying, Doherty's staying. Oh yeah, and Success. Keeping him. So Pogba, Doherty, Rashford, Success, and Kiko. And I have 9 players playing. No worries, Liam. Thank you very much for looking, for watching. First ever YouTube stream, guys. Thank you very much for being here. My game week 30 captain is probably going to be Sterling, because I've got him in. I might as well use him. Might as well captain him. Hopefully he'll do better at home against Watford. And hopefully Fraser does well next week for me. First game week in, and then I'll be taking Hazard in for game week 31. Chips in game week 32, and I'll let you guys know how that goes. But yeah, no, that's the stream. Stream's done. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. Let's pick some good stream going out music. This is it. I know it. Perfect. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. And I'll be posting my morning Monday after and Reddit as well. So thanks very much for watching. I've said that about 50 times. Don't really know how to end a stream. Never streamed before. I think it went quite well. Anyway, yeah, so have a look on my Twitter. I'll be tweeting everything that I think of from now and the transfer deadline. If I decide to go for Brooks and I think of a good reasoning, then I'll let you guys know as well. But for right now, it's Fraser that I'm on. But I probably won't make that change until Friday. So there's still quite a few days left.
Yeah, enjoy Avea and Rose. Catch you guys later. Thank you. Bye bye. I'm gonna leave the music on and stop talking so you can enjoy it.
Hold me close and hold me fast. The magic spell you cast. This is La Vie en Rose. When you kiss me, heaven sighs, and though I close my eyes, I see La Vie en Rose. When you press me to your heart, and in a world apart, a world where roses bloom. And when you speak, angels sing from above. Everyday word seems to turn into love song. Give your heart and soul to me, and life will always be La Vie en Rose.